pixel data. Okay? So we have been using this a lot, right? This movie file in since last week as well. Yeah? And if you remember with movie file in, we can load different file here. Am I correct? You remember, right, from last week? But I would like to kind of like refresh your memory again. Let's say I will load this count, meaning it's a video and it's running real time, okay? 60 frame per second, okay? I will just close this so you can have more focus, yeah? But Touch Designer not only giving us capability of loading things on a real time, but also to work on it. If you see here, there is one simple parameter but very powerful, the speed. You see that? You know, we are very often see on any media, movie, whatsoever, this kind of like stop motion things, right? Or slow motion things. And normally what they do, they need to control the speed. But in most cases, they need to do it on post-production. Yeah? Let's say you're using your iPhone, once you do using some apps, you know, like edits from Meta, or you use CapCut, you know. Once you do the slow, then you need to render, right? In Touch Designer, no. You can do it in real time. Now it's become very, very, very slow, right? And also become very, very, very fast. For example, if I would like to make to become 10 times faster than normal, now it's become 10 times faster than normal. Yeah? And what can you do with it? Many things. For example, you need to do online presentation for your product. Let's say the creative team come to you and say like, we have already this image, but can you work with that to make things look great? For example, this is a very, 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 very slow video originally, because this Camelon, yeah, am I correct? Camelon moved very slow, right? So originally, the speed of the video is just like this, right? But what can creatively you go with this? Let's say I would like to put the speed 1,000 faster than the original. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. Now it looks like stop motion. Why it looks like stop motion? Because originally the video is only 2 or 3 second length, right? But you try to play it back 10,000 faster, and if you see above there, it's also consume my frame rate like crazy, right? Of course, with this computer, or if you have like high-grade GPU computer, you can do even faster. Yeah, remember last week I told you the only limitation is the brain and the money. I'm serious. For example, just a bit out of context, this is also something that I discussed with your friend who come approaching me, and they mentioned this. Yeah. You know this one, right? This famous sphere, right? So no matter, for the interaction, I'm 100% they will use Touch Designer. Let's say they don't use Touch Designer. Let's say they just use rendered video, right? But they still need to render this in high resolution, right? And in order to handle with high resolution, but it's a good investment, though. Okay? So let's get back here. Now I'm showing you how I'm trying to destroy my own computer. But this is the original one, yeah? So top, remember top is the operator in Touch Designer that handle everything related with pixel data, okay? Or texture data they call it, yeah? So I will start with something called constant. It looks boring. So what is constant? If you draw with Illustrator, by default when you open, it will give you an empty canvas, right? And normally the color is So in RGB, what is the value of white in the normal software? Okay, so what is the value of white here if you see on the parameter? Why? Okay, let me try to explain this slowly with you, yeah? So we have RGB basically, right? Three value, okay? So if you remember early, I explained to you why touch designer is very revolutionary, because initially when you need to do anything related to real time like this, you need to do it with low level coding, yeah? In the past, the low the low level coding. So the low level coding, it's something we call GSSL shader. I personally not really good with this. Why? I'm using it, but I'm not the best one in this. Why? Because the only to master GSSL shader, you should have a very strong mathematics background, especially trigonometry. Then I am not that type of guy. Look at me, right? To show you, do you ever know this website? Save it, and it will be a good reference for you. So I will try with this. You see this? This one running in real time on your browser. It's really depend on how powerful of your computer, but it will follow. Yeah. And if you ask me how to create this, of course with Touch Designer, since we tried last week, you can just imagine. Basically, it may look a bit like what you're doing so far, right? Yeah. But basically, what happened here, it's all generated using this. Okay? That's crazy. Okay? Yeah? That's crazy. Now, I would like you to focus on this. You see this one? There is X, 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 Y, 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 X, Y, 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 X. Right? This is something we call swizzling. Okay? I know it's still very abstract, but I will show you. And then if you ask me what is swizzling, let me go back and show you something. I will stop this, yeah. Then I go back to Touch Designer, okay. Then I will open the shop. But before, I would like to make sure you remember, yeah. So this is the color. You see the palette, yeah. So the red is 1, yeah. The green is 1, and then the blue is 1, right? And the question here, if you see my 3D. If you see my 3D now, I will make this sphere smaller. Okay, now look at this, yeah? In which axis is the red? And what is the color? Okay, and which axis is green? And what is the color? Okay. And which axis is the blue? And I mentioned already the color. And the color is? What is all idea about? Because everything needs to be based on this basic language that will talk directly to your graphic card. Got it? Now the question, instead of having 2 to 255, I'm trying to simplify things here, yeah, because this is basically computer graphic and computer science classes. I'm trying to explain to you in a very simple way. So if you are using Adobe Illustrator and if you're using Adobe Premiere, whatever Adobe, yeah, everything is from 0 to 255, right? But it's not directly on your GPU, yeah? Why? Because you see, the amount of digit from 0 to 255 is a lot, right? Okay? That will consume a lot of power and calculation. Because we are working directly on a GPU here on Touch Designer, That's why all the calculation of color always start from 0 to 1. Because we are using the principle of shader. Yeah? And in shader, trust me, if you ever ask, if you are using Blender, any related 3D software that still fall under computer graphic, x-axis always red. Okay? The y-axis always green. And then the z-axis always blue. Why? Because everything still fall under the shading language. This is the general standard. Got it? So now here, if we go back, my question is, in Touch Designer context, what is the RGB value for red? If we start from 0 to 1? Yeah? 1? Exactly. Because we are no longer at 255. So I will just close my parameter window here. Then I open here. So 0, 0, 0. Right? And what is the color of green? 0, 1, 0. Got it? Put that in mind from now on. Yeah? And if you ask me why, and people ask me why, because we are working directly on a GPU. Yeah? And it's very important. Okay? Got it? Everybody still with me? Yeah? Of course, the simple way to change the color, you can just click this red box and it open you the palette. Right? Yeah, of course. But in some cases, let's say you want to do interactively, then you need to do it with number. Okay? Hey, do you mind to be quiet so I can talk? Got it? Okay? So we have the constant, and the constant is basically just an operator that will give us a blank pixel at the beginning, just white, but you can change the color. Okay? Got it? But this is going to be very important in most of the cases later. So the next thing that I would like to show you, I know it doesn't really look interesting yet. Now I would like to go to something called RAM. Okay? RAM is one of my favorite operator in Touch Designer. Because if you go here, I also show you this last week. At the end of our class, you know this guy? I saw it last week as well. His work only work with pattern. Maybe not this. So this is basically his performance. Everything is with pattern. Everything is with pattern. Everything is with pattern. Okay? Can we do this with Touch Designer? Let's say, because at the end, one of the I think the final project of this class you need to do like VJ performance with Zhang, right? So yes, can you do something like this? Yes. If you go here, pattern can be created using RAM. Yeah. So if I open the parameter of the RAM, you see here, yeah, it will also give you all the palette color that you can change. Yeah. But what I would like you to focus now is the type and the period. Okay? Type and the period. Now at the moment, it goes from horizontal. Right? It goes from here, it goes from here to here. Yeah? It's basically go from which value? 0 to? Got it? Why? Because it's 0 and 1. 0 is black, 1 is? Got it? To prove to you that this is actually 0 and 1, see, this group is awesome. I will show you the value. And if you see, you can see that all the RGB, yeah, go from 0 to 1, ascending, from right to left. Got it? At horizontal. So what I would like to do now, I will just play around with the period. And please listen to me. When you start working on your own project, you need to find something that we normally call sweet number. Sweet number is just like the perfect configuration that you can find, then it looks nice or it's really like what you want. Sorry, you basically just close this. Can you close? Cannot? No, I just, for those who having problem with the license, try to close first without login. Try to close. No, this one?
No, I already got,
Cannot?
I already got
The number. Because normally you can just close it, then it should work. Okay, get back here. So on the RAM, you need to find the sweet number here. And this is really good example. For example, if I put the value smaller than 1, and you can immediately see it's begin to create the pattern. Right? You see it? It's also show here on the curve. Okay, what happened? It's go from 0 to 1, and it's black again. Right? And it's go to 0, it's go to 1, and it's create the pattern. So my initial investigation on the previous group, the sweet value should be from at least 0.05, let's say, yeah, up to 0.8. Okay, up to 0.8. So now, what I would like to do next is basically our topic next week. But I will just do it for the purpose of demonstration. Okay? So you can always follow me. So what I would like to do, I would like to create, I will close this first, and I will make a space. Remember, yeah, always make a space for you so it's easy to work. So what I would like to do, I would like to create an animated value. So we can try to animate the RAM. So it looks interesting, okay? Again, I will discuss about chop next week, but this is just for the purpose of demonstration. On the chop, I will find something called LFO. Okay, you see that? LFO? Yeah? LFO. Yeah. And after the LFO, as usual, at the end of every process, we should always have null. Right? Remember that. It's very, very important. And it is time actually to demonstrate to you why we need null. Okay? So now pay attention on the value of the LFO here. We don't need to carry it. What is the type of LFO? What is LFO? We just look at the value. The value goes from -1 to 1. Right? -1 to 1. Okay? And do you remember the sweet number from the RAM? Yeah? The sweet number from the RAM is around 0.1 to 0.8. Right? So what we need to do now, we need to find a way on how we can convert this value from -1 to 1 to become 0.1 to 0.8. Got it? So the way we do it, we are going to use another object on chop called math. And the way I add math, remember, on the line, I right-click, then I choose insert, yeah? Then we need to find something called math. Okay? Now it's the time. I will find the math operator. It should be open on your right, of course, yeah? So on math here, we don't need to care about anything else, just for the purpose of demonstration. Go to range. Yeah? If you go to range, you can see the first line says from range. And by default, it's 0 and 1, which is not correct. Yeah? Because our input, it's from -1 to 1. Right? You see this one? Ah, you see, there were a glitch on my computer. Who saw that? You know, you didn't saw that? Suddenly it's like stop. You didn't saw that? You saw it? Yes. So what happened is I'm using the experimental version of this software. If you see on top right corner, it says update, right? Yeah. So this is the experimental version of the software, and sometimes it'll give you glitch. And that's why in any production, it's always recommended not to use the experimental version. But sometimes you need to use experimental if you want to see their future feature or something, you know? Let's get back. You see, the LFO is from -1 to 1, right? And here the range is 0 to 1, which is no. So we need to change the range, change this 0 to become -1. And after that, look at the output here. It's no longer -1 to 1, but becomes 0 to, because this is the to range value. You see that? But again, this is not the number that we want. What we want? We want to have 0.1 to 0. So you know what to do? We go to the range 0.1 and 0.8. And bang. You see that? It converted the value from -1 to 1 to become 0.1 to 0.8. Okay? So now, how can we implement this into RAM? Again, I will explain about this in detail next week. This is just for the purpose of demonstration. Therefore, look at my screen very, very, very careful. So I have this RAM, yeah? I will just open the RAM here so it's easy for you to see, right? And what we would like to manipulate is the value of the period. Am I correct? Yeah? So what I will do, look at this. On null, yeah, on the top right corner here, on the bottom, yeah, look at my cursor. I click this one, then it looks like this. Okay? And I will just hover here on chop, then I drag into the period directly on the box. You see that? Yeah? I release my mouse and it will give you a few options. Yeah? And what you need to choose is the chop reference. Yeah? Remember this. Always choose chop reference. I will explain why. Now I will click the chop reference, and if you have problem, Sister J will help you around. I will click the chop reference. Once I click the chop reference, you can immediately see the period value. It's animated using the LFO. Isn't it? Yeah? Okay? Now, I will explain why we need to choose the chop export. Okay? If you see the RAM parameter here, on the left, there is add value. There is an add sign. Yeah? Click on that. And immediately you see this is a bit scary, but that's fine. This is a Python expression. You good? This is a Python expression, you know, the Python, okay? This is the Python expression. Why I ask you to choose the export? Because the export of the value from the chop will become Python expression. Why it is really cool to become Python expression? Because with this, you can do any additional expression here. For example, I would like to multiply by 0.1. I can immediately do that. But we will explore about this later together. Okay? So now the equation, as you can see, basically the RAM will give us the value RAM that goes from 0 to 1, which in this case 0 to 1. Yeah? And we will have different possibility of type of RAM. At the moment we just use the horizontal, right? But if I choose a vertical, it will go vertical. Right? If we choose radial, it will go radial. Then if we go circular, it will go circular. Yeah? So the question is, sir, can I also, let's say, animate the changes of type with any value? Yes, you can. How to do it? In a very simple answer, you only need to just copy all of this. So this is the input of our control. And remember, chop, yeah, we will discuss on one specific week, because chop will have capability to load audio, chop have capability to load any pattern. So indeed, with chop, it's a very broad context because you can use audio to control any parameter. But at the moment, we just use something called LFO. This is the main animation or the main value resources. So what I need to do, I will just click this math and I copy. Okay? However, we need to know which value that we need to change on this math, right? Now, let's get back to the RAM. Everybody still following me? Yeah? All good? So now let's get back to the RAM. And this is something very important again. This is the way creative coding software or I would say interactive visual software doing numerical. Okay? So if you see this type, yeah, if I go back, what is the first one? Vertical, right? See, another glitch. That's awesome. So by default, normally the way we count, we start count, this is 1, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? No. In Touch Designer, we start count from 0. You got it, right? Yes. So this one will become 0, 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because if you see my finger now, if I start count from 0, 0 is already the first digit. Yeah, but just the value is nothing, no, right? But it's already a digit. So we counting based on the digit. Okay. So that means on math here, if I open the parameter, we need to change to range from 0 to exactly to 3. Right? Now we get from 0 to 3. What next I should do? Very similar. I need to create a null. Remember. Now you can see this is the useful of null. We are organized and we don't get lost. Now pay attention. Pay attention here. The null from the second math, I will also drag, but I will do it not inside the number box. Before I drag it inside the number box, right? But here there is no number box. So look at this. Yeah? I will drag this into this option box. Yeah? I release, and see there is a chop reference. Once I click the chop reference, bang. You're likely GK now. See, I get another glitch. Wow, that's awesome. Now, congratulations, you're a digital artist. Now is the question, what is the difference now? It doesn't really look appealing, right? Why? Because we don't have the sound element. Remember that the sound element is something that can really touching in terms of interactivity, because that's how our sensory works. Got it? Yeah? It work on you? Yeah. It's awesome. Let's look over with you. Yeah. So yes, I wouldn't go detail on how you can work with RAM, but indeed you can change the color. You can play around with the face. But at the moment, we just focus in these two, right? So the question again, what we can do with this? How can we experiment this? A lot. Don't worry, we will do a lot of things with this. But let's wait until your other friends get into the same point together. You good? You good? Everybody good? You good, right? Yeah. Ah, what is the problem? Show me. Excuse me. Nah. Okay. You need to click that one too. Yeah. Yeah. Chop reference. Yes. And you yes. But always play. Don't stop. Okay? Okay? Got it? Because Touch Designer always happening on real time. Yeah? Don't worry, I go there. Excuse me. Sorry. Yes. No, you don't connect that. You drag this. Very similar. Drag into the circular here. No, no, no. Yes. And chop reference. But you haven't changed the value here. If you click this one, no, uncheck first. Click. You need to, yes, you need to change from 0 to 3, right? No, 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 not that one. Not from range. From range is the input. You need to change from 0 to 3. Yeah. You get it? Do you understand why I need to change from 0 to 3? Because if you click ramp here, I will just say, okay guys, some of you, excuse me. Guys, please look at here. Let me explain, okay? So, some of you were wondering why we need to change this. Or let me just ask you. What is the meaning of from range? What is the meaning of this? Yeah, the range that we get the value in, right? And what is to range? It's our desired or our aim value, right? So why I have 0 from 0 to 3? Because the number of type, the RAM, is there are 4. You got it? Yes? Don't get confused with that. You good? Yes, because the type of, the number of type, there are 4. And why we are start from, why we end with 3? Because we start count from 0. Got it? Yeah? So any question, any confusion, any complaint? Yes?
Why is it from 0.1 to 0.8?
And this is something, sorry, one more time.
Why is it 0.1 to 0.8 in this last one?
Yes, this is something I call sweet number. Sweet number is something that you need to work on. For example, why 0.1 to 0.8? Because when I experiment with that, the best range value for the period is from 0.1 to 0.8. There is no scientific explanation, it's more on experimental answer. Okay? For example, if you are the teacher and you didn't find 0.1 to 0.8 is the best number, and that's your sweet number. Got it? Got it? Any question before I continue?
What is the phase used for?
The phase, it has something to do with the how actually, the wave, the wave work. But to give simple explanation, if I move this wave, let me put this back to vertical, yeah? Or I will just make a new RAM. If you see this RAM, yeah, if you show this RAM, okay, then I will just make period a bit smaller so you can see there are two things here. Okay, maybe like this, okay? The phase, let's say if you have a wave like this, I cannot really draw in here. So let's say you have a wave like this, yeah? Let's say you have two wave, yeah? And this is the peak of the wave, right? The phase is the slight changes between them. You got it? Now I have several, a pattern there. If I change the phase, you should see it's moving. Because it's the slight changes between them, right? But the period, the amount of diffusion, the amount of wave stay the same. Understand me? For example, if I put this one into 0 again, you will always see 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? When I change the phase, it's just shifting between those. but the division, the amount of pattern that happen in one period, still always 3. Got it? Yeah? So for example, if I go into just 1, yeah, then I use the phase, it will always 1, but it's just go. Isn't it? It's just moving the phase in between it. Understand? Any question before I continue? Of course, you can play around with the phase using any number there, you know. Okay? Any question before I continue? It's all good? The next object that you would like to learn from top, the next object that we would like to learn from top, I think I can just close this. The next thing that we can do, let me close everything. If you go to top, go to rectangle. Go to rectangle. I didn't cover this earlier this morning, so I will ask the group 1 to watch the video starting this minute. So what is rectangle? It's basically giving you a rectangle. But why it's matter and why it's interesting? Because you can work with rectangle interactively. Okay? So here, I will just open again the parameter. Yeah. And remember what I told you last week, if you are unsure about what this operator actually can do, right click and open snippet. Yeah? Don't forget, this is your best friend. Right click and open the snippets. Okay? And you can see there's a bunch of example there. Right? There's a totally bunch of example there happening there. Okay? But what I would like to do, we will try to make our own. Yeah? So the rectangle here. So what I would like to do, I would like to make just a frame, you know, like a frame, rectangle, and then the border color orange. How we do it? So the way I will do it, I will change the border color first. You see this one? By default, the border color is black. Yeah. I click this, then I will go. Maybe I will go to yellow. I know, green, right? And why I don't see any border? Why I don't see any border? Because I don't have the border width. By default, the border width is 0, right? So what I need to do then, I need to change the border width. Let's say I would like to go maybe 0.1. Too much. Maybe just small one. It looks like, this is something I call sweet spot. Not sweet spot, sweet fellow. Hi, what is again your name? I forget. Hello. This is something I call sweet value, so sweet number. You know, when I try to make this border, I go to 0.1, right? Then when I go to 0.1, it doesn't look nice. It's not like what I want. So I just play around with the value. Then I find my sweet value, somewhere even like this. The value, if you ask me, doesn't make any sense, right? But it looks nice. This is something we call sweet value. Got it? Okay. So now I don't like this. I don't like this white. I don't like this white white fill color. So what I will do, I will change to black. So now I have a frame. Okay. And what I would like to do, I would like to make it bigger. I change the size. So yeah, maybe too big. Maybe just 0.8. Okay. Any question with that? No? All good? So what can I do with this? Let's say, yeah. I will go to something called transform. I will close this. Then I go to something called transform. Yeah? So what is transform? If you open the parameter of transform, it is basically very similar that you can find on the Illustrator. It will give you the scale, it will give you the position, it will give you even the background color. But for now, what I would like you to focus, let's focus on the rotate. Okay? And this is an interesting part. On the rotate, previously, we try to animate the number of parameter using chop, right? But can we do it without chop to just continuously animate or produce something? Yes. How we do it? This is your first Python script. I will just open here. Okay? I will type here so you can see easily. Okay. Anybody can really guess what is the functionality of this expression? So ABS, it stands for absolute. Absolute meaning something that always happens. Yeah? Time meaning we would like to get the absolute time. Okay? And what is the unit of absolute time that you would like to get in? Seconds. And where does the absolute time come from? From the timeline of Touch Designer. All the calculation happening. Got it? Why? Because every calculation in Touch Designer happening in exactly. So what I would like to do, I go to rotate here. Normally, you need to move the slider, right? Yeah? So now let's say I put to 0 here. If I would like to go to one full cycle, how many degrees would it be? Exactly. If it's just half, okay, quarter and half should be? Got it? But what I would like to have just continuously. Just keep rotating. Okay? So how I need to do this? I need to type this ABS time here. So to make it easy, I already click this plus, yeah, on rotate. Don't make mistake, on rotate, yeah. I click plus, and I just type ABS time dot seconds and enter. When I enter, it moves, but very slow, right? Very slow. And how can I make it fast? Times exactly. Why? Because this is the Python expression. Okay? So I will just go here on second, then I times, let's say 20. Right? And now it's just keep increasing. Can I go the other way around? How? Smart. Why? Because this is Python. I will just do it here. Get it? Any question? I will just make a null at the end, yeah? Okay, I will just go around to see if anybody need help. You good? Yes. Read first the problem. You made a mistake when you typed this. Look at this. What is your mistake? Let me open my note, okay? If you got any error when typing ABS time, click on it and let's see what you're missing. Yes. So with the script one, don't miss anything. Got it? Yeah? I just want to check my OBS if it's recording. Yes, it's recording, right? Yeah, it's all good. Okay? Yes. Sorry.
I don't know why it doesn't rotate like that.
You need to multiply this because it's very slow, right? So the way you need to do this, just make a multiplication and let's say time 20.
Oh my god, I see.
Yes? Got it? Yep, anytime. Any question? Yes? No? All good, right? Still okay, yeah? This group, it's okay. Maybe because of the afternoon and a lot of coffee. Okay, let me continue, okay? Now, what I would like to do, I would like to introduce you to compositing. Who is familiar with compositing? Compositing, if you are using Adobe Illustrator, what is composite? Yes, basically composition, you know, we composite things, right? So, let's go here. Then I will just perhaps do add operator. Then I will go for composite. Then I get an error here. And what is the error about? There is no enough sources specified. Why? Because composite meaning you will compose more than one. So indeed, composite can receive more than one input. At the moment, the error, because I only have one input, and composites get confused to which you want to composite the input. So, as I always explain, now go to operator snippet, which is your friend. So, I will just, why is not there? I incidentally deleted, I believe. Well, anyway, this one should be over. It's okay then. So now, you see, I have this composite, right? So what I would like to do, let me show you. This composite already connected to our output of rotation. Yeah. And what I would like to do, I will connect this rectangle from here. Look at this. Yeah. Then I will connect to the composite. Okay, then I will open the viewer to you. So what is happening here? What is happening here? Let me open the parameter of the composite and let me explain to you. So what's happening here, yeah, we get the value from the rotation, yeah, we get the value from the rotation, and we get the value original from the rectangle that's not rotate. And what happened is the composite will multiply their pixel data. When it's got multiplied by the pixel data, since one is moving, one is not moving, it will show you something that, sorry, let me repeat what I'm trying to say. So it will multiply the pixel data so you can see the fluctuation of the pixel, okay? So the interesting thing with the composite, look at this. This is very important. There are many different type of operation, okay? Perhaps what I would like to do, maybe here, you know, I have this cable that connected, yeah? Maybe what I would like to do, I will add another insert here called transform. Wrong. Transform. Okay, transform. Then on the transform here, I will change the scale. Sorry, I will close everything so you don't get confused. On the scale, I will make this smaller. You see that? I just want to make this demonstration because when I make it smaller, yeah, when I make it smaller, then on the COM, I will change this to become over. Where is over? Sorry, let me. See it? Now, when on the com I change the operation to become over, over meaning is over something, you know. So what I have here, I have the original rectangle, yeah, as the second input, and I have the rotation is on top of that. Got it? Yeah. And of course you can play around with this. However, one is very important to remember. If you have this com, yeah, I will open the operator here. Yeah. And I will open this. Yeah. If you are really unsure about what is the effect that you can do with different type of compositing, you see this one, preview grid. Yeah, this preview grid. Click on the preview grid. Yeah, and basically it will show you what you can get on every single compositing, right? For example, the first one here should be add or something. So you can just choose from which one you want to get it. Yeah. And what we have at the moment, I think should be offer. This one. I think this one is the offer. Yeah. But this one should go by count from 0 to whatever number of the operation there. Okay? Get it? Any question before I continue? All good? Any error? No? Oh, this is very smooth, honestly. Okay. So I will close this, then I go to com. This will be my last compositing, right? Then of course I can play around with different type of for example, if I multiply again the maximum, subtract between them, and you will get the black one because green minus green, you know, let's say 1 minus 1, it's 0, right? So reflect, I'm not really sure what's happening here, but for demonstration purpose, I will just use offer, okay? Now, everyone still with me? Yeah? The next thing that I would like to do, I would like to introduce, you know, a lot of things I introduced with this stop, yeah? The next thing that I would like to introduce to you called displace. Yes. So in English, what is the meaning of displace? What? Sorry, I cannot hear. Yes, displace. What is displace? You know, place. I'm placing the bottle. Ah, exactly. Displace, we try to place something but not on the right place, which in the context of touch designer, it's the pixel position. Okay. So here by default, you can see what is the problem. There is no enough sources. So what I would like to do, I am not sure if I can use my webcam because I'm using, oh, still. Let me see the OBS. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So I will get this, but still I need more. I need more input to displace my webcam video, right? So what I will do, I will just right click here, then I will copy the one from the example. You see this one? Yeah? I will copy this. Maybe I copy all of them. Then I will just put it here. I delete this. Then I replace this with my webcam. And remember, at the end of it, we need no. And this is me. That's awesome, right? I mean, you see that some people, they try to do it with Photoshop and they do a lot of layer, right? But once you finish with Photoshop, it's just a still image. This one, no. Okay? Now, let me explain to you what is happening here. So, my question, what is the input image here? Yeah, what is the input image here? My webcam. And again, can you please tell to all your friends what is the meaning of this place? Exactly. So we need to place something on the wrong place, which in this case, my pixel location, right? Because the correct one, the proper one, should be this, right? You can see that? The proper one is this. The wrong, man, I'm start losing hair, man. You see that? Oh, man, it's not good. But that's okay, I'm no longer young anyway. You got it? So I have this displays, right? So, and in this displays, let me show you something very important. Now, I have a question. This is, I discussed earlier, yeah? I discussed earlier. So, if you see here, this is the displace parameter. We can displace on horizontal, vertical, and the source midpoint, yeah? Aspect correction, I wouldn't really go detail into that, but I would like you to understand this. Horizontal sources. Earlier I show you, which one is horizontal, this one or this one? This one. What is the color of horizontal? And what is happening here? So what it does, I take the blue color, which is the vertical from this, yeah? Got it? To displace the horizontal value of my webcam. Got it? Yeah? You got it? No. So if you remember earlier, I show about this. Where is my, okay? If you see this one, if you see this 3D axis, the red color is on the horizontal, right? The vertical one is green, yeah? And then the Z1 is blue. So by default, the horizontal one here supposed to be red, right? Right? But what I do is I take the blue. Maybe if I do the green. Am I on this? Oh yes. So I take the blue. Then I'm lost here. Yes, I have the blue. So the blue color here, it's actually coming from this noise. You got it? And the other parameter that you should see is this one, the display weight. Yeah? And display weight here, it's only two parameters, X and Y. So if I put this one to 0, you wouldn't see any displays because there is no displays happening. Right? So what I would like to do, I will increase this displays weight on the horizontal axis. You see that? Yeah? And if I put this on the vertical axis, you see that? Can I put on both of them? Yes. Now it's on both axes, X and Y. Understand? Yep. You've seen this a lot, especially in, oh, that's awesome. You have seen this generative visual effect a lot, especially in the movie that have this kind of like reality, like this, I forget this movie by, Who's playing this Jack Sparrow guy? I forget his name. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is one movie by Johnny Depp. It was, I think it's the only best sci-fi movie of him. He become like the digital version on AI or something. Yeah, yeah, I forget the name of the movie. You know?
He was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies, indeed, indeed. But that's one of the best sci-fi movie. And when he's inside this simulation, the movie used a lot of displacement effect like this. Yes? It's just a sweet spot. But the maximum value here is 1. Yeah, it's just a sweet spot. When you start working with the visual manipulation analysis, there will be a lot of personalities on how you would approach your work. Okay? Yes. So I have a question now. This is me, right? And at the moment, I'm using this one, something called noise. I will explain the noise after this. But now I would like to show you something. Previously, look at this before you get lost. Previously, we create this RAM, right? Now, can I displace my webcam using the pattern from the RAM? So I will drag the output from the RAM into the displays. That's awesome, right? Maybe I make the movement a bit slow. Again, I wouldn't really explain about this yet, but I will just go to LFO. So if you go to LFO, the parameter, you see the frequency. So frequency meaning like how many times this. Okay, man, if I explain this, then I will explain about the LFO. But anyway, I will just put this frequency to become 0.1. That's awesome, right? Hey, someone already animate the noise there. Okay, you can see that, right? So there are many patterns that you do. And basically what we are doing here is a technique called UV mapping or UV manipulation. That's awesome. Right? Any question before I continue? Yes.
How did you do the LFO?
I go to LFO. No, the LFO that I did before, on top of there. Yes, and change the frequency to become 0.1. Yeah. That's not so bad, right? With just pixel. Yeah. And what I can do with this, I can go crazy even. For example, I have this input, right? I will make another displays, and this displays output will become from this, but this one should go here. And sorry. So I have another layer of displays using the input that I displaced with the RAM. Yeah? Any question? We go step by step, okay? Next week we start with top, and at the end we should have our own 3D system here. Yeah? All good? So yeah, I think I can put it 0.2 here maybe. So the next things that I would like to do, I would like to explain about this. What is this? Noise. Yeah. Normally with noise, I will have like one dedicated class to talk about noise. Why? Because noise is a very broad subject, and it exists in both medium, visual and also audio. Yeah. But for the purpose of this class, we will only discuss on the context of computer graphic. So who is familiar with this movie? Yeah. But this one is the modern one. Yeah. Originally, it was this, the old one. You see it? And you can see this gradient, kind of like texture. Yeah, yeah. This one, something we call Perlin noise. So Perlin noise or noise, yeah, it's a type of gradient noise used in computer graphic to create organic or natural looking texture or effect. And if I type here, oh yeah, this AI is Gemini, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So it should be fine. So Perlin noise Tron movie. See? So Perlin noise was developed by a computer scientist, Ken Perlin. And indeed, it was first using to create computer, CGI. And it was used in the movie Tron, the original one, as a texture. You remember what we did last week? Yeah? We have film, right? The other Vietnamese computer graphic guy. We use film as a texture for our geometry, right? But the material used for the texture in this context is the noise. So if you go to the noise here, I will close this. Oh yeah, I would like to try something. Just 1 second. So I have also the output from our rectangle, right? I have output also from our rectangle. So let's see how it looks. Yeah. Not so bad. But it should be fine. Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. Let's go to noise. You guys good there? So let's go to noise. Where is noise? So by default, you should get this noise, yeah? And it looks nice, but we can do more interesting thing with this. I will open the parameter here. So noise indeed also exists as an audio. If you watch this old radio, and if there is no radio broadcast, you will hear the noise, right? Very similar like this, okay? So there are many parameters here. As I mentioned to you, I'm supposed to have like one dedicated class to just talk about noise, but we will just touching the parameter that is required for us to do image manipulation here, okay? So I will just make this one bigger again so you can see. So I would like you to go to transform, yeah, of noise, go to transform, and I would like you to animate this noise, yeah, on its coordinate location of z-axis using the Python expression we did before, which is ABS time dot seconds. Okay, try. So on the translate of the noise, on the z-axis here, yeah, try to animate it using the ABS time dot second. How will you do that? So you have the noise, right? By default, it's just, oh yeah. You are on the example, are you? You cannot do anything here. Because if you do anything here, then you close. Oh, no. I'm trying to understand what you're doing, but why you have this one here? No, you're correct. It's appeared there. I never encountered this, honestly. How did you do that?
Oh, maybe she's.
She divided the network, right? But can you click this? This one? No, this one? Yes. Huh. Weird. I never see this before. But it's interesting, right? Jay, you see that? What it was before?
Do you dog? There was window here.
Yeah. What it? Yeah.
Hide some.
I don't know, but that's awesome. That's awesome. No problem. So anyone managed to animate the noise? Yeah. Let me demonstrate to you. So I go to this noise, and on the translate here, I will type ABS time dot seconds. Don't forget the S. So now I basically animate the noise value on the z-axis. Right? You good? Yeah, I think you guys are good here.
When I animate this,
You animate a lot of things. Do you mind if I see? Yeah, I mean that's good. That's good to experiment. But you animate a lot of things there.
yeah, like I don't know if when it's go like multiply by 10, it's like gone.
Yes.
Yeah, but when it's go something smaller, it's gonna make the effect.
Yes. So basically, if I can show you, maybe it's better not to animate this. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this is the pivot value. This one is the scale.
Oh.
Now,
What's this one for?
this one, I am not sure. We need to read the manual. Indeed, there's so many things here. I need to read the manual.
Yeah.
But the scale is the scale of this noise.
Oh.
But it's already really big.
Oh.
We don't really do this basically.
Yeah.
But we focus on this. Okay?
Yeah.
Get it? But it's okay to experiment like this because there is no wrong, there is no right. You need to find like what is the proper visual that you want to achieve. And if it's wrong, just delete and come back to the beginning. Got it? Yeah? So yeah, I have animated my noise. And what I can do with this, if you go back to noise here, yeah, there are different type of noise. That's awesome. That's a noise manipulation, isn't it? Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, if you see here, there are different type of noise. There is a two-dimensional, there is a 3D Perlin, the one that is on Tron movie, and there is a simplex one. And if you change any parameter of this, for example, the period, it will show you whether the noise is getting slowed down or no. You know, when it's small, it's getting more rapid and condensed. See that? And if you see the amplitude here, yeah, if you see the amplitude here, amplitude will determine how strong is the noise. So if I put the amplitude here to 0, basically you get nothing, right? Because there is no, in a quote, power for the noise. So if you want to get more intense, indeed you go upper on the amplitude, then you see I get more intensity. Right? Now I have question to you. Since what we are animated on the noise transform is the z-axis, right? That means this noise supposed to be three-dimensional data, right? Yeah? Right? But what we see at the moment, we don't see any depth there. Like no really depth. Yeah? Why? Because at the moment, we are seeing it as a color. Okay? Pay attention here. This is very important. Because we are seeing it as a color. Yeah? Why as a color? Because TOP or top is texture operator. Okay? But the nature behavior of the noise, it's basically three-dimensional. Now, I would like to demonstrate to you, this is just the viewer, okay? If I open the viewer like this, and I right-click, you see by default, the viewer mode that we use is the color, right? But if I go to the view as a point, what will happen, it will show you the original representation of the noise as a point. Now I have question, why I only have kind of like, like a lot of array of point goes from 0 to 1 there. Why? Why? Remember when we tried the RAM at the beginning, I asked what is the value of RAM? You mentioned 0 to 1. And it's also applied here. Why? Because currently the noise color it's only white and black. So if you see this noise here, yeah, I have the monochrome checked on. If I uncheck this, you can immediately see all the array of value. It's happening here. You see that? Then basically, if you are really zoom in, I don't really cover in this class because it has something to do with the shading. If you see, this is 0, yeah? This is basically 1, right? Yeah? And what happened in between is the randomness of 0 and 1. Got it? But why we cannot really do something like this? Because TOP or top is texture operator. Got it? But initially, the noise could give us more than just one-dimensional pixel value. Got it? Yeah? So what I would like to do now, we are trying to combine everything. Then I will end this class by doing video feedback technique. Other than this, I will post it on our canvas. And please try to take a look into that and play around. What I can't really cover in this class is something called slit scan synthesis. We cover displacement and we will cover the feedback. The only thing that I can't really cover is the slit scan synthesis. And it will be on the file that uploaded into this class. Got it? So now, I will just put this back as an image because this is what I would like to see. And you see that when it's colorful, indeed it goes more than randomized from 0 to 1. I will just put this, then I would like to show you something. Okay? So the noise here can receive two input. Yeah? The first input, if you hover, it says what? The background image, meaning the image that you would like to get into the noise and replace the background image of the noise. And then the second one is interesting one. What is the second one? It's noise coordinate. It's a very similar idea with displays, which whatever input came into this inlet will change the coordinate value of the noise. So what I will do, You see, you remember this one, the one that we copy from the example? Yeah? I will just get this, then I change the coordinate of that. You see that? I get different pattern. Yeah? And you can see it's basically take the pattern from here. Yeah? So you can play around with noise, trying to create different pattern, different, even the image from this displays. Now you are doing glitch art. Anybody familiar with glitch art? You know, you have an input of image, then you're doing glitch. That's also glitch art there, in a more RGB color. So this is something we call glitch aesthetic. Remember, Jay, in London, they do a lot of glitch like this, right? So this is the glitch art, okay? So you can keep just experiment with whatever you got here. But what will be very interesting is if I just delete this, I can also multiply between noise. Then I can keep just going on, going on, going on, going on, going on, going. Then let's say I multiply this noise with another noise. You see that? Then I will multiply this noise using another input from this. Yeah? But the question is, can I just have like one noise, let's say the original noise, then I use this value here, then I use the input value here, and this is what I got. So we basically modulated the image pixel using the noise character. Then I just keep modulating all the time, you get this saturated color. Yeah? Get it? Any question? And remember, guys, what we are doing here, we are not doing the installation, okay? We are not doing the installation like what the team lab do. What we are doing here, we are learning the technique on how you can create crazy content, let's say for your installation, for your performance, for anything that you would like to do creatively. Got it? Yeah? So, to close this class, I would like to create a noise feedback. So, in order to create the noise feedback, I think I will just make things look tidy, okay? Because it looks quite crazy here. Not so bad. But that's okay. So what I would like to do, I will go back into my rectangle here. Don't worry, my parts looks a bit messed up, but I will give you like the final file, then it looks tidy, okay? So here I have my rectangle, right? This is my original rectangle, then I use the comb here, then I have the null here, yeah? What I will do, I will delete the comb, I will delete this. So what I have by the end is just the rectangle, yeah? The rectangle go to transform, where on the transform I, I rotate, yeah? And it goes to null. Got it? Yeah? So now, what I will do, I will add something called feedback. Anybody can help me to explain what is feedback is? Do you ever go to the concert and you heard this audio? That's audio feedback. What is the cause of audio feedback? Yes? Say it loud. Say it loud. Close to each other. Get it? So let's say I have speaker here and I have microphone here. Then if I, normally what you want to have is I speak on microphone, the sound came out from speaker, right? But what happens is if you get too close with that, when you speak, the sound that get out from the speaker also captured by the microphone. And if it just keep happening, it's create a looping signal that we call feedback. Okay? So what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is very interesting. Again, whatever happened in touch signer is happening in. So I have a real-time rotation from the rectangle here, right? Then I put into the feedback. Now you see the feedback, it's actually stopping there, right? Why it's stopping there? Because if you go to the feedback parameter, it is require a target top. Target meaning it needs the final output that will go into the cycle. I haven't put it here yet. So what I will do this. After the feedback, maybe I will go to COM site again. Then on the COM, I will go to transform. Then on the end of this null, I put into here. Then on the here, I will say offer. Then you see that? You see that? It's doing a feedback. But now, we don't have control on that, right? Because just keep happening. Yeah? How can we control this? One of the very simple approach, after the feedback, we get something called cross. If I'm not mistaken, should be this. This is something, honestly, I always get confused and screw up. Why? Because of my dyslexia. You know, in dyslexia, you get confused with something that keep moving around, right? Don't worry. This is honestly something that I always get a mistake here. So what I do, I will just open what I created for you, okay? So I will go this, then I will open the touch designer experimental. I will just open this. Yeah, despite of experience, I'm still stuck with this feedback. So where is my teaching RMIT? This one, right? DMS3 in-class group week 2 feedback experiment. So if you see my feedback experiment here, it's very similar like what you do, but I just prepare in case of I'm losing it. So, this is my mistake. So I have the rectangle, yeah. Then I have the feedback, okay. I have the transform, but the COM is here. This is always my mistake in this part. Always my mistake. You see that? So let's learn from my mistake and we try to recreate together. But the output is cool. Let me show you. That's awesome, right? And this is basically what we done with the displays, with the RAM, with everything, okay? It's just I prepare, okay, this is something that I always make a mistake all the time. You see this one? Yeah. And so let's do this together, okay? So what I got here, I got the rectangle. I got the rectangle here as well, right? I don't need the transform. Yeah, I have transform, but okay, this is the mistake, right? So I will delete the feedback here. I will delete the cross here. I will delete the COM here, okay? So from rectangle, I go to feedback to transform. Oh, the COM is down here. You see that? Yeah, this is the mistake. Okay, so I will go first with this. The way I do it, I click insert operator. Add operator. Yeah. So feedback. What else? Transform. And we will skip this one because I need to explain about this. So just go from transform and transform to COM. Now I need to add COM. Okay? Then I just connect the COM here. And basically, com should be the one that goes to the final null. You see that? Let me show you. You see, after com, go to the final null. Right? So, what I will do, the com should go here. And this is what I did mistake before. Because we need to get the original one from the transform, go here. Get it? Okay? You see that? Now it's begin to rotate. But it's not really like we expect. So if I go down here, yeah, I have this feedback, I have this rotation, I have this com. Right? So what I do here, if I go to com, it's multiply. Remember, I explained about the multiply. I change this to become screen or over. Let's start with screen. You see that? Now, it doesn't really look interesting yet, right? Yeah? But you see that? It's kind of like going looping all the time, right? Now, you see here, after the feedback, I have something called what? Transform. So, meaning, if I change any parameter of transform there, it will go to the final one, go back to the feedback, and it will keep on looping, right? So, if I change the value of the transform here, let's say the scale smaller, it will create the repetition of it. You know, what is my mistake? Tell me, what is my mistake? Yes. Because you need the target from the feedback. Otherwise, feedback don't know from which output I need to do the loop. Okay? I always make this mistake, honestly, because you know, if you are dyslexia, you always confuse which one is left, which one is right, which one is in, which one is output. That's why every time I'm standing here, I always like, right, red, because I always confuse about this. So what I need to do, I need to just put it here. Right? Then start doing the calculation here. So here's an interesting part. The rotation at the moment is happening here, right? At the beginning of rectangle. What I will do, I will stop this. Yeah? I will stop this, but you can see this is basically really happening in real time. You see that? Yeah? Yeah? So what I will do here, I go to transform, then on this transform, yeah, I will animate ABS time dot seconds time 10. Now we're kind of like creating Fibonacci, basically. It's kind of like factor Fibonacci things. Right? Yeah? Any question? So that means also to say, for example, like I would like to make a different size for the scale. Yes. Okay? And what would be really interesting if we can change the hue color of this. Hue color, yes. Hue color, right? So I go here and I insert operator, and you see this one, the hue adjustment. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's rotate, right? It's rotate. Then what I would like to do, I just change the hue offset. Slightly change. Yeah? And what I do on my example, there will be a class after us, right? But why they are not showing up? Because you remember last week everybody was like there already 15 minutes before the class finished. Because we finished at 4, right? And last week you remember like 3:45 everybody was already there, and I was like, otherwise we can just keep continue, okay? So what I would like to do next, it's a very interesting. You remember the displays that we did? Yeah, the displays that we did. You know, this one, this displays. I will just playing around here. It's a bit messy, but I will give you the the correct one. So what I do, I go to this displays. No, my bad. I go to this one input. Then I go to this noise. Then I should get this nice colorful pattern of the noise. This could be, you know, at the end of this class, as Zhang is the module leader, you need to create content for your VJ performance, right? So you can start experiment with this. You can change any input on it. Get it? But the one that I would like to show you is the example that I created here. You see this one? The one that I created. It's basically using the noise that I show you. Yeah? Yeah? But why it looks very interesting with the texture? Because the type of noise that I use. Let me show you. You remember on noise here, so noise, let me open the parameter so it's easy to see. So noise has different type, right? So I using here the simplex two-dimensional. So if I change this, let's say to Perlin, it gives you different type. If I go to random, it will give you different type. Right? So the one that you always to keep in mind at the moment, different noise pattern will give you different variation of displacement. Get it? Then further in the next class, of course, the more we go, we can just simply take these guys, then we change to become 3D. You see that? We can do a lot of things there. We can use as the texture. Yeah, you see it? My computer is crashing down. Yeah. For example, I can use. Sorry. Then we can do a bunch of stuff. Okay? But at the moment, we start with two-dimensional first. Any question? No? All good? You know, I'm trying to finish 10 minutes before we finish because last week we have like a bunch of people here, but they are not here. Why? They don't go to school today? It's weird. Okay, since we have a bit of time, I would like to show you something that I cannot cover here, but I will send it a letter. Jay will help us. So I will just close this. Then I open you my. I will just close this. Where is it? Ah, this one. Okay, I will send this to you, and something that I can't really discuss to you is this one. It's a slit scan synthesis. So if I go here, this is a very common effect in visual. You see that? This is something we call slit scan synthesis. That's fun, right? Because you see the background, it stay the same, okay? The background, it stay the same. It's only something that move, basically change. And this is something we call slit scan synthesis. It's not recording, it's happening in real time, right? Yeah? Oh yeah, next week we will discuss about chop, right? Am I correct? Can you see the canvas? Yeah, next week is about chop, right? I have one question. Do you ever see this McDonald's advertisement where people need to come to McDonald's and they need to yelling? Like really, really loud. And then the louder it get, the louder the movement, and they can get free McDonald's. You've seen that one, right? Yeah? That's something we would like try to do next week. Okay? So what we are going to do next week, we're trying to simulate this McDonald's advertisement. So the louder we scream, the louder is the movement. It's like Flappy Bird, you know? But the Flappy Bird comes from our voice. Yeah? I'm not sure if you can do this in this computer because there is no microphone. But I will borrow microphone and perhaps we can try on my laptop, or if you bring your own laptop, you can screaming on your laptop. But you know it, right? But it's really cool. You can look at me. I keep moving around, but it stays there. Yes. And it's something we call slit scan synthesis. Yeah. So next week we are trying to do this